Whoa, so it is this movement here. Problem is, few people can do it like past a certain age. It just wears you out. But also, there's like a little there's an art to it, and some people have a hard time just connecting with it. So this movement here, one thing we've learned over time is a unilateral. It's easier to connect with stuff sometimes, right? Like, so especially those hard to reach movements. So things like a single arm pull down, a single arm lateral raise. Sometimes, giving each side its turn really helps connect and helps you figure out these movements. So same thing is going on here. We started what is biomechanically the strongest position, elbow extended, shoulder extended, and then what you're going to do is you're going to unlock the joint, right? So you're going to unlock the elbow, unlock the shoulder, flex both of them, and then simultaneously extend. And it's going to take you a while to figure it out, but it feels right when at that stretched position you feel like the whole tricep just crampy almost. So you should feel a nice stretch when your hand is up there by your face. Elbow should be kind of close to your face, but we're basically doing what we're doing with that skull crusher. The only difference is that we're kind of, we don't have a bench, and we're kind of putting our torso on an angle to mimic gravity pointing up and down when you're laying on a bench. And it's not too bad, like the holding yourself into position, because since you're doing one arm at a time, you don't need a whole lot of weight, and you can just keep the reps higher. And again, you'll find this movement, I think most people find this movement easier to execute than that tricep extension. Nothing wrong with that one if you like it, but just an option for you guys. So let's get into some fat guy PRs, some lifetime PRs. I have not been over 195 in, like 8 years. So I'm allowing myself to do that. So there's a few things. This dude was heavier than me, let me tell you that right now, but that was 225 for a set of 20. I can probably do 205 for like 2 sets of 15 on a tremendous day, but I would like to close grip 225 for, multiple sets of 20 this go around. So we're doing the close gripping once a week. And I might not get to this body weight, but I'm still going to be gaining. I have for another 4 months or so. So I got time, and I'll take it. I'm a few pounds lighter, but I'm able to, beat some of these old marks. Other fat guy PR-ish, I think. 140 for a set of 8. Again, I'm doing the low incline, but eventually I'll probably swap to a flat just to kind of give that movement pattern a bit of a break without changing it too much and having to learn something completely different. So I would like to get this one. And again, like same thing here, like probably right about 198, 199 is my body weight at the time. We have time. So with the close grips, the high reps, I like to be able to take the 200s into the high teens. That would be nice. And then on the heavier days, I would like to be able to take it into the into the low threes. This was my actual bench at the time. I was afraid of certain things. Again, now I kind of know how to remedy. It's a bunch of things. I hope my powerlifting buddies don't see this. But yeah, I would like to get to the point where I could close grip in the low 300s as well. I think that'd be pretty sweet. So yeah, all these things to look forward to, right? It's not just about looking good on the beach, but hey, I live in Colorado. We're landlocked, so it's like, hey, right? Shirtless on the hikes. I think that's what the dudes do out here. But yeah, this is I guess this is more specific to what I am doing. 135s for I don't know how many reps I got this for, but I would like to be in what I feel is the acceptable rep range for dumbbell work, which I do feel it should be like 7 reps and up, just because that transition on the way down, it's kind of shady, right? So I want to keep it over 7 reps, and I would like to work in the 130s, the 130-pound range, in that rep range. Again, low incline, because my shoulders tend to take over. Low incline is the one thing that just makes my clavicular head feel like it's just exploding. And again, a few other perks, like especially the kick up is just so much more convenient. But this was what the high 190s look like. It's a big dude, man, but we're closing in on this guy. So again, it's been a few years since I've allowed myself to do this. You know how it goes, man. It's like last off season, I've discussed this. That was probably the one thing I did wrong, is I just didn't like train. Like my intake was too ambiguous, you know. Training was good, but whenever like my body's like, all right, let's make some muscle. Oh shit, there's nothing here to go around. So we're changing at this time, because that is the one thing that again, like the off seasons where I've allowed myself to really just continuously eat at some sort of surplus. I made the most progress. So, hey, doesn't like I feel but dude, it's for that bottom line. That's what we're about. So again, some of the highlights, some things that I'm really proud of, but this is the other segments, man. Like, boy, if I could take this dude and just give him, yeah. So I'm lucky I'm not more banged up, but again, this is, it was, you know, again, yes, absolutely, ego was a huge part of it, but also, this wasn't thought of as like totally wrong. Like, there was supposedly a time and a place for this type of rowing. You know, I don't take back my green years, but I could have made better progress and perhaps feel better today had I, you know, taken the time to really look for information that maybe didn't fit my liking, because absolutely everyone cherry picks, and I was definitely guilty of that back then. But anyhow, y'all aren't like that. You guys are better. I'm not one of those old heads that's gonna clown the modern day kids. I think you guys are great, and thank you for like taking the time to listen to what I have to say. So appreciate that. Safety squat bar. We're replacing the pin squats with that. Why? Just bored with it, I guess. And honestly, so this was just out. I'm like, you know what? Let me try this. I love the way it felt, and I did get to safety squat for almost like 2 years consistently. When I lived in, I actually owned a bar. So this exact bar, actually, the Rogue bar. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a go, see how it feels. It's just, man, I think the biggest thing about this is just, I don't do a whole lot of quad work, but like this one, it just feels like it's a whole lot of quad work, like compared to the low bar. And it's just, it's easier on my lower back. It's harder on the torso in like a different way. But it just kind of feels like nature's hack squat, you know. It's like, it's a hack squat, and like you can like really get yourself together and grind those extra reps that, you know, maybe with a front rack you'd be limited, and with like a you know, bar on your back you'd be limited. It lets you grind those out, and it's a very fair movement. Like, it's very fair. I love the way it distributes load. So that's in, and yeah. So this is another movement. Get bored of doing lateral raises. As important as they are, I get bored of doing them. So I wanted to give face pulls a try. You know, there's rear delt, T1, T2, do the 2 trap muscles, and then of course the lateral head. Absolutely, it's definitely helping out. So I wanted to give this a go. I've never felt face pulls the way a lot of other people will claim they do, but this was the one thing that worked. So again, doing them unilaterally, doing them on this bench has helped immensely. So the bench cues me in so that I can keep my ribs down a little bit, and obviously it supports my torso so that I can just focus on doing this thing with the muscles that I want to, the muscle that I want to actually use. So yeah, this has been amazing. And again, did this one in myo rep fashion, but it's like I feel it exactly how it should be. I can definitely see a few things that I'm going to have to improve next time I do these. But again, it gives you, it's why you should film yourself, right? Because no matter who you are, you will always catch up like little things that you can nip in the butt before they become like habits. So yeah, face pulls with the cable a bit lower. This is so that I can get a little bit more external rotation. Like a lot of guys that have been pressing for a while, I lack a little bit there. So this, I mean, it's like, again, I mentioned this before, like lifting and stretching, like the bottom of that squat, it's like my ankles are being stretched out, my hips are being stretched out, my knee, right? So same thing with this. It's like, hey, if I can restore, right, my movement a little bit in that specific way, it's like, well, why not? So yeah, I'm doing it with the pulley a bit lower. I think next time I might bring it down even a little bit lower. But yeah, it feels fantastic. And again, if you've had a hard time like figuring out face pulls, it's back to that thing. Hey, let's try it one arm at a time, and let's see what it does. So yeah, it's a deload, but it wasn't too bad, right? We got some good stuff out, I think so. So slow week, deload week. I got to get that spreadsheet out for you guys because, again, I know how I'm pacing us. Like after this, I think we have my dumbbell incline presses, and it was 5 sets of whatever it was, like RPE 6-ish, 7-ish, and you know I kind of know how to pace it, how to munch on it. Oh no, it's this inverted row thing. How to pace myself like weeks 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, in order to end up where I want to, or get as much work as I'd like in terms of overload, during that block. Like I know how to pace it, but I need to show you guys so that you guys can see what it is that I'm talking about. But you guys have to promise you won't do it, because the only thing that's going to happen is you guys are going to make slower progress, most of you, than you could be making. Your body's going to hurt because it's you're doing more than you probably need to do, and there's a very likely a good chance of that, and you're going to get far less in return than what you can be getting. So technique and other stuff, yeah, absolutely. I don't think I'm a bad model for that. But in regards to the nuts and bolts, your story is a little bit different than mine, I'm gonna assume. But yeah, that one is staying, and then this one is staying. So this was day 1 on the incline. I have high hopes for this this training block on this one. I honestly feel that like 115s for a set of 12 can happen, or even like 125s for a set of like 9 or 10. So we'll see, right? It's talking mess until you actually do it. So hey, slow week. I want to show you guys what I do eat. So first of all, the first hour that I'm up, no eating. I basically just I get some coffee in. Usually it's my Deload Utopian, but I don't have it in yet. So this one took a little bit longer, folks, but it's on the way. That's usually what I have. This morning, an hour later, I had coconut rice. That's why I put that can there. And then hummus in there. Doesn't look like a whole lot, but this whole thing, probably 20-30 grams of fat and at least 120 grams of carbohydrate. Protein shake with this. I try to have a few heavy meals early in the day before I actually train. I try to not have too much fat and have a pretty light meal before I actually get in there, because I train better with some food in my stomach. But if I have too much in there, it just can slow me down and can make for a not so fun training session. So this was meal 1. Kiwi in there too. Look at that. I had 3 tangerines along with my caffeine to kind of enhance the caffeine experience, but I didn't show you guys those. So yes, hummus and rice. And then the meal after this was plantains and I think it was 6 eggs in all. A lot of the foods I pick are honestly foods that I can share with my dogs, especially Paul. So since I work from home, he's like my road dog. He's always right there next to me. Haley kind of just does her own thing. She's got her own agenda, her own things to do, career woman. But my boy Paul, yeah, we just hang out and eat all day. And he likes plantains and he likes eggs, so we share. So that's a big part of what I decide to go with food wise. So first 2 meals, again, between both those meals, probably like 60 grams of fat, probably like 250, 240 carbs. This was my pre-training meal, so some pineapple, some string cheese, protein feeding number 3, right? And then big loaded burrito, about 1,500 calories. I'm gonna go home in a bit, have a salad, and that's basically it.